This video did not exist in your timeline until you directed your focused attention toward it. By simply clicking play, you have already collapsed a wave of probability into a singular physical experience. What if I told you that everything you know about the law of attraction is fundamentally incomplete? Today, we are going to explore a radical paradigm shift involving the observer effect and the boundless quantum field. I promise you, by the end of our time together, you will completely understand your true, unbridled power as the ultimate creator of your reality. You will never look at your desires the same way again. Tell me, have you ever felt that deeply unsettling yet magical sensation that you are meant for a reality vastly different from the one you are currently experiencing? To truly grasp the magnitude of what we are about to discuss, we must first establish the metaphysical landscape of your existence. The quantum field is not some distant, abstract scientific concept reserved for laboratories. In our spiritual understanding, it is the invisible, highly intelligent web of infinite potential that connects every single atom in the universe. It is a vast ocean of probability waves, where every possible version of your life already exists in a dormant state. Observation, in this mystical context, is never a passive act of simply looking at things. True observation is the intense, active engagement of your consciousness with the field. When you observe, you are speaking the language of creation, forcing the fluid energy of the cosmos to freeze into the solid architecture of your daily life. Let us begin with a profound truth that might shatter everything you have been taught about manifestation. If you are still cutting out pictures from magazines and pinning them to a corkboard, you are unknowingly trapping your desires in a state of eternal delay. Why do the most powerful manifestors never use vision boards? Because a vision board inherently implies a stark separation between you and the object of your desire. It is a physical declaration to the universe that you do not possess this reality yet. When you look at a picture of your dream life pinned to a wall, your consciousness registers it as something external, something reserved for a distant future. And in the quantum field, the future does not actually exist. There is only the eternal, pulsating now. By constantly projecting your desires into a tomorrow that never arrives, you are instructing the field to keep those experiences perpetually out of reach. You are acting as an observer of lack, not an observer of abundance. The secret of the top 1% is not about wanting harder. It is about fundamentally changing the location of your consciousness. Instead of relying on flat, two-dimensional images, the masters of reality creation construct what we call a quantum memory palace. But what exactly is this sacred architecture? A quantum memory palace is a fully immersive, three-dimensional construct built entirely within the boundless space of your own mind. It is not a fleeting daydream. It is a permanent, energetically charged environment that you design down to the microscopic details. Imagine a magnificent estate, a grand sanctuary, or a sleek, modern home floating in the void of the quantum field. You are the architect, the builder, and the sole inhabitant. This space becomes the holding tank for your highest timeline. When you build this palace, you are creating a spiritual vessel capable of holding the massive frequency of your manifested desires. It is a structured environment where your consciousness can safely roam, touch, and interact with the reality you are choosing to bring into the physical plane. This technique bypasses the logical mind completely. To understand why this memory palace works, we must look at the esoteric mechanics of the observer effect. In quantum physics, a particle exists in a state of pure superposition, meaning it is everywhere and nowhere at the exact same time, until it is observed. The very act of looking forces the universe to make a decision. In the realm of personal reality creation, your focused attention is the gaze of the observer. When you observe your current physical reality and react to its limitations, You are simply recollapsing the same old wave over and over again. You are keeping the illusion of your current struggles alive through your sustained attention. The quantum memory palace gives your inner observer a new, incredibly vivid reality to look at. By turning your gaze inward and interacting with this hyper-realistic mental environment, you force the quantum field to begin rearranging physical matter to match your internal observation. You stop being a victim of circumstance and become the absolute director of the universal play. Here is the fatal flaw of traditional manifestation that keeps 99% of people stuck: the vibration of wanting. Wanting is a state of severe deprivation. When you affirm, "I want wealth," or "I desire love," the universe hears, "I do not have wealth," and "I am completely devoid of love." The field does not respond to words. It responds to your state of being. The quantum memory palace eliminates the vibration of wanting entirely. You cannot want something that you are already walking through, touching, and experiencing. When you step into your palace, you shift instantly from the agonizing state of desire to the peaceful state of having. You become the owner, the resident, the master of the domain. This subtle but massive shift in frequency is what turns the key in the quantum lock. The field can no longer reflect lack back to you because the frequency of lack has been completely eradicated from your energetic signature. You have become a living embodiment of the reality you seek. Let us discuss exactly how your thoughts collapse the wave of probability within this spatial framework. A fleeting thought is like a gentle breeze. It moves the quantum soup but lacks the power to solidify it. However, a structured, spatial thought forms a dense gravitational center. When you mentally walk through the halls of your quantum memory palace, your brain begins to fire in completely new sequences. The neurons create complex webs of connectivity that mirror the architecture you are visualizing. As this neural network strengthens, it emits a powerful, coherent electromagnetic signal into the field. This signal acts as a tractor beam, pulling the raw wave of infinite potential and forcing it to collapse into a defined particle of experience. You are no longer hoping for a random blessing. You are deliberately forging a mold out of pure thought energy, and the universe has no choice but to pour physical circumstances into that exact mold. This is the alchemy of consciousness. But architecture alone is not enough. A palace without intense emotion is nothing more than a beautiful ghost town. Emotion is the magnetic charge that pulls the event toward you in the physical dimension. As you construct and walk through your memory palace, you must generate the exact emotional signature you would feel if it were completely real. If you are manifesting absolute financial freedom, what does the air in your palace feel like? Does it feel light, expansive, and utterly secure? As your hand grazes the expensive marble countertops of your mental sanctuary, you must feel the surge of profound gratitude and overwhelming relief in your chest. This emotional intensity acts as the glue that binds the quantum particles together. The stronger the emotion, the faster the reality collapses. You must literally overwhelm your nervous system with the joy of the fulfilled desire, while standing in the center of your constructed quantum room. Emotion is the fuel that powers the engine of the observer effect. Let us build the vestibule of your palace right now. Close your eyes for a brief moment and imagine a grand doorway. This is the threshold between your physical limitations and your quantum potential. Reach out and feel the heavy, cool metal of the doorknob. Turn it. Hear the heavy click of the mechanism. As you push the door open, step into the grand foyer of your new reality. What is the texture of the floor beneath your feet? Is it warm, polished wood, or cool, ancient stone? Take a deep breath. What does the air smell like? Perhaps it is the scent of fresh ocean air, exotic flowers, or the crisp pages of new books. You must engage every single internal sense. The more sensory details you weave into this initial room, the more convinced your brain becomes that this place is a factual reality. This vestibule is your safe zone, the anchoring point from which you will expand the rest of your quantum estate. It is the bridge between the seen and the unseen worlds. Why is spatial memory so incredibly powerful for manifestation? The secret lies in a magnificent part of your brain called the hippocampus. This region is responsible for both spatial navigation and the consolidation of memories. By using a three-dimensional architectural model in your mind, you are hijacking the brain's natural GPS system. Evolution has wired us to remember spaces, locations, and environments far better than abstract concepts or floating images. When you place your desires into specific rooms, corridors, and gardens within your quantum memory palace, you are translating spiritual intentions into a language your biological hardware understands perfectly. The hippocampus cannot tell the difference between a physical room you walked through yesterday and a powerfully imagined room you visited in the quantum field this morning. To your brain, both are absolute reality. This biological loophole is the ultimate hack used by the top 1% of creators to solidify new paradigms. We must now address the grand illusion that keeps humanity enslaved, the illusion of linear time. You have been conditioned to believe that the past is gone, the present is fleeting, and the future is a distant, unreachable destination. This is a three-dimensional trap. In the quantum field, time does not flow in a straight line. Everything that has ever happened is happening, and will ever happen exists simultaneously in this very second. Your absolute highest timeline, the version of you that is abundant, awakened, and unconditionally loved, is vibrating right now alongside your current version. The quantum memory palace is not a blueprint for the future. It is a doorway into an alternate present. When you enter the palace, you are not waiting for time to pass. You are stepping sideways through the dimensions. You are collapsing time. Understanding this obliterates the anxiety of waiting. How can you be anxious about the arrival of something you are currently standing inside of? This leads us to the mystical practice of remembering your future. Most people try to imagine the future, which feels like making something up from scratch. It takes immense effort and often feels hollow. But remembering is effortless. It comes with a profound sense of familiarity and absolute certainty. When you spend enough time in your quantum memory palace, a miraculous shift occurs in your consciousness. You stop visualizing the space and you start remembering it. The grand staircase, the sprawling gardens, the feeling of absolute freedom. They become deeply entrenched memories of a life you are already living. You begin to feel nostalgic for your quantum architecture. When you achieve the state of remembering your future, the physical manifestation is completely inevitable. The universe must catch up to the memory banks of your consciousness to maintain cosmic equilibrium. You literally force reality to mold itself to your internal history. To accelerate this process, you must learn the art of anchoring sensory details. The quantum wave collapses fastest when it is weighed down by specific, undeniable sensory inputs. Choose 3 distinct objects within your palace to serve as your anchors. Perhaps it is a heavy golden key resting on a velvet cushion. Feel its weight in your palm. Trace the intricate engravings with your thumb. Perhaps it is a crystal glass filled with ice water. Feel the condensation on the outside of the glass. Feel the freezing shock as you take a sip. The more undeniable the sensory feedback, the faster the holographic projection of the field condenses into dense matter. These anchors act as cosmic tethers. When the physical world gets chaotic, You simply close your eyes, reach into the quantum void, and touch your golden key. Instantly, your frequency stabilizes. You pull yourself back into the vibrational alignment of your highest timeline, rendering the external chaos completely powerless over you. As you solidify this architecture, you will begin to experience a phenomenon known as synchronicity. Synchronicity is not a coincidence. It is the direct feedback loop of the quantum field. It is the universe winking at you, confirming that your new spatial memory is beginning to bleed into the physical dimension. You might start seeing numbers, symbols, or exact replicas of items you placed in your memory palace appearing in your mundane life. If you designed a specific mahogany desk in your quantum office, you might suddenly walk past a storefront and see that exact desk in the window. Do not dismiss these moments as mere chance. They are the physical evidence that the wave is actively collapsing. Acknowledge them. Feel a surge of intense gratitude when they occur. By celebrating synchronicity, you amplify the magnetic charge of your observation, pulling the complete manifestation toward you with terrifying speed and precision. Have you ever experienced a sudden, overwhelming sense of déjà vu? Mainstream science will tell you it is merely a neurological glitch, a misfiring of synapses in the brain. But in the realm of quantum psychology, déjà vu is something far more profound. It is a moment of divine intersection. When you experience déjà vu, you are momentarily colliding with a future you have already built in the quantum field. The coordinates of your current physical reality have perfectly overlapped with the coordinates of your quantum memory palace. It is a sign of ultimate alignment. When this happens, do not just brush it off. Stop whatever you are doing. Breathe deeply into the sensation and mentally declare, I am on the perfect timeline. My realities are merging. Use the energy of the déjà vu to power up your inner architecture. These moments are the milestones on your journey to becoming a conscious master of reality creation. One of the most challenging aspects for the novice manifestor is the art of profound detachment. You might build the most magnificent palace, filled with exquisite detail and charged with explosive emotion. But if you cling to it with desperation, you ruin the entire process. Desperation creates a frequency of resistance. The paradox of the observer effect is that you must hold the vision with absolute clarity, and then completely let it go. You must leave your quantum memory palace without locking the door behind you. Once you have done the inner work, you step back into your physical day with a sense of complete surrender. You do not constantly check the physical world to see if it has worked. Checking implies doubt. Instead, you trust the invisible mechanics of the universe. You allow the field to organize the complex chain of events necessary to bring your palace into the third dimension. Surrender is not giving up. It is the ultimate display of confidence in your power. This brings us to the critical transition from the state of desire to the state of residence. You must realize that you do not visit your manifestation. You must live inside its frequency. A visitor is temporary, passing through, always knowing they must return to their ordinary life. A resident belongs there. Their energy permeates the walls. When you walk through your quantum memory palace, you must carry the demeanor of the permanent resident. You belong in this state of supreme abundance, perfect health, and boundless joy. It is your natural birthright. When you embody the state of residence, your entire physical posture changes. You walk taller in your daily life, your breathing deepens, and your eyes carry a mysterious, knowing spark. You are harboring a magnificent secret. You know that the physical world is just a delayed echo of the monumental shifts that have already taken place in your quantum architecture. To maintain this high-frequency state, you must commit to a daily walk through your quantum memory palace. Just as a physical house requires maintenance, Your quantum architecture requires the continuous nourishment of your attention. Spend at least 10 minutes every single morning before the chaos of the physical world invades your mind, exploring a new room or revisiting your favorite sanctuaries within the palace. Trace the patterns on the walls, look out the imaginary windows at the landscape you have designed, and breathe in the reality of your creation. This daily ritual is not a chore. It is a sacred communion with your highest self. It reinforces the neural pathways in your brain and keeps the electromagnetic signal broadcasting at maximum strength. The more frequently you walk these invisible halls, the denser they become. Eventually, the boundary between the physical and the quantum will become so thin it will shatter entirely. As you engage in this profound spatial anchoring, something miraculous begins to happen to your subconscious mind. Your subconscious is essentially a massive hard drive, storing every trauma, limitation, and fear you have ever experienced. Traditional affirmations often fail because they bounce right off the thick walls of this deeply ingrained programming. But the quantum memory palace bypasses the guards. By providing a fully immersive spatial experience, you begin to overwrite the old paradigms from the inside out. The subconscious cannot distinguish between a real trauma from the past and a profoundly real quantum experience from the present. As you fill your subconscious with memories of abundance, power, and freedom gathered from your palace, the old files of lack and unworthiness are simply deleted. You are literally reprogramming your biological software to expect miracles as the standard baseline of your existence. Inevitably, the logical mind will attempt to stage a rebellion. It will look at your current bank account, your current relationships, or your current health, and it will scream that nothing is changing. It will demand physical proof. When this resistance arises, you must be prepared to silence it with absolute authority. Do not argue with the logical mind. It thrives on conflict. Instead, the moment doubt creeps in, instantly shift your awareness back into the vestibule of your quantum memory palace. Reach out and touch the heavy, cold metal of that doorknob. Anchor yourself in the sensory reality of your quantum creation. Remind your logical mind that physical reality is the past, the dead ashes of old thoughts, while your quantum palace is the living, breathing future. You must train yourself to trust your inner vision far more than you trust your physical eyes. This unwavering conviction is the hallmark of a true master. You must fully integrate the understanding that quantum shifts are completely instantaneous. The manifestation itself does not take time. It takes a profound and uncompromising alignment of frequency. The moment you successfully match the energetic signature of your quantum memory palace, the shift has already occurred in the field. The delay you experience in the physical world is simply the dense matter of the third dimension, taking time to catch up to the new blueprint you have established. Do not let the illusion of time discourage you. Every single second you spend in absolute certainty, feeling the joy of the fulfilled desire, you are rapidly accelerating the physical materialization. You are collapsing the distance between the timelines. The event is rushing toward you as fast as the laws of physics will allow. Stay stationed in your power. Do not waver. The universe is moving mountains behind the scenes to deliver the exact coordinates of your spatial memory. The ultimate goal is the complete merging of the worlds. There will come a breathtaking moment when your physical eyes finally see exactly what your quantum eyes have been looking at for so long. You will step into a physical room, and you will instantly recognize the exact texture of the floor, the precise smell in the air, and the exact feeling of overwhelming gratitude that you practiced in the void. It will feel entirely surreal, yet absolutely normal. This is the zenith of the observer effect. You have successfully collapsed the wave of infinite potential into an undeniable, solid reality. You have proven to yourself that you are not a victim of a random chaotic universe, but a divine architect of space and time. You will realize that the memory palace was never just an exercise, it was the true reality all along, waiting patiently for you to command it into existence. This is your ultimate awakening. Listen to me very carefully. You are not a tiny being trapped inside a massive reality. You are reality itself, observing its own infinite reflection. You possess the divine capability to mold the fabric of the universe through the sheer power of your focused, spatial attention. The quantum memory palace is your birthright, your ultimate tool for dimensional mastery. Let go of the vision boards and the endless state of wanting. Step into the architecture of your highest timeline today. If this transmission resonated with the deepest core of your being, hit the like button right now to lock in this frequency. Subscribe to the channel to continue your awakening journey. To anchor your new understanding into the physical grid, write this exact activation phrase in the comments below. I am the observer creating reality. Now, I want to hear from you. What signs or synchronicities have you noticed in your life recently that prove your wave is collapsing? Share your experiences and let us build a magnificent reality together.